Are they Stoner Squad, and of course a massive welcome to all those new to the channel. My name is DanIsStoned, and thank you for joining me today for another Imperator video. In today's video, I shall be covering the changes brought to the game by the 2.0 Marius update. This video is not intended to be an in-depth guide on a specific subject, but it is more of a quick recap of all the changes implemented by this significant update. If you are wondering whether to buy the game following the update or a returning player pondering what the changes are, then this is the video for you. I shall also not be covering the content of Heirs of Alexander DLC, due to be released alongside the update, simply because the DLC doesn't offer any core changes to gameplay, only adding some flavour for the Diadochi and Hellenic nations of the game alongside a great wonder builder. I may cover this in a separate video down the line. I shall, however, in due course make some more in-depth videos on specific topics, as I intend to revive my Imperator Academy series to keep all my guides up to date, considering the numerous changes brought by the 2.0 update. So do keep an eye out for those in the future. Now, without any further blabbering, let's dive right into the video, a quick guide to 2.0 Marius. The first thing that you may notice upon launching the game is the considerable changes to the game's UI. Before 2.0, the UI was slightly cumbersome, unclear, and not great at optimizing the limited space available. Big clunky buttons, unclear information, and the lack of tooltips are quite clear for everyone to see. It was basically not very practical. Marius has done a great job of clearing up the UI, and in my opinion, looks absolutely fantastic. Everything looks crisper, cleaner, sharper, and less cluttered. Gone are those massive buttons for tabs, and in comes a neat and clean bar on the left-hand side. This optimizes the space a lot better. More details are also applied to the resource bar, informing the player of the different changes in their values. Each tab interface is also cleaned up, making it, in my opinion, easier to search for the relevant information needed at any given time. But the most practical change, in my opinion, is the addition of the CK3 tooltip, allowing you to quickly navigate the tooltips and search for all relative information needed at any given moment. Why this was not included upon release of Imperator Rome is beyond me, but hey, it's finally here now, and thank God for that. Up next, we have what is probably the biggest change to the game brought to us by Marius, and that is to the military aspect of the title, precisely land warfare. Gone are the ahistorical standing armies made up of 100,000 men strong player or AI controlled doomstacks, and in are the massively better levies and legions. Levies can be raised any time and are levied on a regional scale under the command of a governor of a specific region. This means that you must pay close attention to the governor you assign to a region, because it is that very governor that assumes command of the levies of the region he administrates, so you might want to pay close attention to your governor's martial attributes. Raised levies cost you tax income per month, as well as monthly hits to your manpower, and if large enough, your monthly research points generated. So don't forget to factor in their costs before raising them. The size of the levy depends on quite a few factors, such as laws for example, but their main condition that determines their size is the number of integrated pops in the region. Now, the notion of integrated pops here is very important. You can only raise levies from the pops that have been integrated into the realm. This essentially means that only pops whom you have set civic right to citizen or noble can be levied, so remember this when planning conquest. If your units are wiped out in battle, then there is a small chance that a pop associated with that levy will be destroyed, thus directly affecting the province of the region it was raised in. The composition of the unit types in levies depends on the culture of the pops that you raise to form the levies, meaning you have less control over the types of units present within the said levy. For example, if I had some Parthian pops integrated into the realm who are notorious horse archers, then the levy raised from the region with Parthian pops present would have horse archers within their ranks. Alongside levies, we now have legions, and these are the equivalent of the professional armies of the ancient world, permanent battalions if you wish. These legions have a monthly maintenance cost. Unlike levies, legions offer you greater control of the units present in their ranks. At the cost of gold and manpower, you can add specific unit types to the legion, so long as you possess the required resource to create said unit. Legions can also be assigned a series of different commanders. At the head of a legion, you have the commander. You can also add secondary commanders known as tribunes and legates that allow you to have extra commanders if you decide to split your legion into multiple units. Your legions are your prestigious battalions, and thus, depending on how they perform in combat, can receive a series of honours. These honours can provide the legion with some pretty powerful bonuses, such as extra morale for example. However, legions cannot be raised just like that. You need to fulfill a certain amount of requirements, and to raise legions you must have passed the appropriate law, and to pass the said law you must fill out even more requirements. Next up we have Inventions, which have been subject to some pretty big changes. Now it's important to differentiate between technology and inventions. I will call technology the different tech levels and inventions the unlockable bonuses as a consequence of increasing your tech level. Technology is pretty much the same as in pre-2.0, so I won't go over this subject too much here. If you want a detailed guide on how technology and research work, then I advise you to go and check out my How Tech Really Works video. It may have been made a while ago, but the principle is the same, and applies well even now in 2.0. But for those who are new, here is a quick refresher. Each nation generates research points through the citizens and noble pops. The more of these types of pops in your realm, the more points you generate and the quicker you will gain technology levels. Increasing your technology level grants you access to more inventions. You may think, well, what has changed? Well, the answer to that question is in the way inventions are unlocked. Pre-Marius, inventions were unlocked in a very linear fashion. The principle was you increase your technology level in one of the 4 categories, so military, civic, oratory or zeal. Once your level increases, you will gain access to 3 inventions for the category that increased. The inventions would then be purchased for a lump sum of gold, which increases as your number of pops grow larger. Now the major drawback to this system is that it severely hinders the larger nation's invention progress, since it would cost huge sums of gold just to purchase a single invention. I mean, why would purchasing an invention cost a nation with a larger number of pops more than the smaller nations? It doesn't really make sense. Marius takes a different approach. Each time a technology level is gained in one of the 4 categories, the player gains a new resource called Innovations. You gain 1 innovation per category level increase. These innovations are then used to unlock inventions, and each innovation point can unlock 1 invention. The next part is where the big changes are. Not only have Paradox changed some of the old inventions, but unlocking them is no longer linear. Inventions are now organised into trees, allowing the player to create his own path towards selecting which inventions he wants to take. This essentially removes the old arbitrary way of inventions and how they were unlocked pre-2.0, creating no variation of what was unlocked and when. This allows for player adaptability depending on any given situation, and provides a variety of different scenarios that change depending on a playthrough. Well, that's about it from me for this video. There are of course some more subtle changes with 2.0, but trying to fit them all into this video would make it way too long. And besides, I have to leave some things for you all to discover, or there would be no nice surprises, would there? Anyway, I hope the video was of some use to you, and if you enjoyed the content, please consider hitting that like button and trying to fabricate a claim on the subscribe button. Also, keep an eye out in the next couple of days for a reboot of the Imperator Academy series. I think it's about time that I update it, and this video will be the first of a new batch. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you all in the next one.